Have you ever noticed that right after your business starts growing, starts scaling, everything suddenly feels harder? There's more fires, more pressure, more moving parts, basically. And then service begins to depend on who is working. Your team feels stretched, and growth just starts to feel fragile. That is not random. And it's not because your business is failing. It's not at all. It's because growth doesn't break companies, doesn't break your business. Rather, inconsistency does. So, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and what scaling businesses must build if they want to grow without losing their customers. So I've spent the last decade helping service based businesses generate over $40 million dollars and save more than $10 million dollars through client retention focused systems. And exact process or pattern shows up every single time. At the beginning of your business, everything feels tight. You know every customer, you know their preferences, what they like, what they don't like. You are involved in every decision as a business owner, as a business leader. Your team is small, standards live in your head because you know everything. Service feels natural, it's just what happens. Then growth happens. You have more customers, more employees, more locations, and as a result, there's more complexity. And all of a sudden, everything changes. And now service depends on who is working. Then customers begin to have different experiences, and you are fixing the same problems over and over, basically every single week. Your team, as a result, now feel stretched and growth starts to feel fragile, and that's not what it's supposed to be. And it's not because your business is failing, but it's because something important just happened. You see, growth doesn't kill businesses, inconsistency does. Here's the truth that most people don't realize. At small scale, great service, great experience happens informally. I mean, for a lack of a better term, automatically as a result. But at scale, great service, if you want consistently great service, that must be engineered. Because in the early days, consistency comes from proximity. Because as a business leader, as a business owner, you are involved in everything, and everyone around you, you can coach and guide them. But as you grow, consistency must come from systems. But most businesses don't make that transition. They never get there, or they don't even realize that they need to make that transition. So they keep trying to scale people instead of building infrastructure. And that's where everything breaks. Because at a small scale, service is informal. At scale, service must be engineered exactly as you want it, and it must be done with purpose. And that's what is the most important piece here. You see, in the early days, consistency comes from proximity, right? The business leader, the owner, everyone is involved. But as your business grows, consistency must come from systems. But some businesses don't make that transition. They keep trying to scale people instead of building infrastructure. And that's why they never get to that transition or make that transition because they're focusing on the wrong things. And that's where everything begins to break. In fact, that's where everything breaks because at a small scale, service is informal. At scale, service must be engineered with intention and on purpose. And that's the difference. You see, most businesses don't lose clients because their service becomes terrible all of a sudden. No, they lose clients because it becomes unpredictable. They lose clients because the business becomes unpredictable. One customer gets excellence, then another gets good enough, right? Whatever that looks like. But there's no consistency. And to customers, inconsistency isn't just annoying, it's risky. And that's why inconsistency is a risk. Because when customers feel risks, they hesitate to renew. They stop referring because they don't trust you and they don't want to look bad. They become price sensitive as a result because they don't see why they should pay that much or the experience doesn't warrant it. Then they start to look elsewhere. And they don't do this loudly for you to know. Oftentimes, they just leave quietly. And this is how retention leaks on the back end, not through one big failure, but through hundreds of small inconsistencies. And that's why it can be dangerous if you're not paying attention to it. Because most companies don't lose clients loudly, they just lose them quietly. And that's a big problem when trying to scale, when trying to grow your business. As a service based business, you have to focus on retention. This is also where the rockstar trap shows up because if your quality depends on you as a business owner, the business leader, or that one great employee, or your best manager at that location, here's a fact: you don't have a system. You have a dependency, and if you don't focus on what matters, you are going to lose client. And dependencies as a result don't scale. They just stretch you. And stretched businesses feel fragile because you just don't have the confidence in your team. You are not sure. And it's not because your people are bad, but because people were never meant to be the system. That's the whole point. You have to create a system to guide the people. So if your quality depends on one person, you don't have a system, you have a dependency. This is exactly why I created a client retention systems, not as theory, but as real tangible infrastructure, a system that you can build. A client retention system turns service into consistency, then consistency into trust, and ultimately that trust into retention, and then retention into growth. It's all connected. It's not random. It's to help protect your profit as you grow. It removes personality from delivery and then replaces it with clarity, standards, and execution. Because you are not a service business, you are a retention business. Service is just the mechanism, and that's what a lot of leaders forget. Because in this business, every client you keep is a competitor you beat. And once you see this, everything changes. You stop chasing better people, you stop managing symptoms, and really start building systems. It's all about systems. And that's like when you build a system, that's when growth stops feeling fragile and start feeling sustainable. And you have to remember this: you are not a service business, you are a retention business. If this resonates, I'm teaching this framework live in a free masterclass where I break down why this happens, the 5 mistakes that quietly kill retention, and how to build service consistency across your team, whether multiple locations, with many employees. You can register using the link below in the description. And if you are serious about scaling without losing your customers, I can guarantee you this is the exact next step. Go ahead and register for the masterclass. Go to clientretentionmasterclass.com and I'll see you on the inside.